Patrick Young. Patrick Balls. Patrick Young.
So, sorry. Well, since you have to be crazy to be a sociology major, I got a job in the mental health field after I got out of college. And I wound up working for a company that provided services for people with developmental disabilities and other mental health issues. She knows. All right. And part of the training for this kind of a job is we had to have 2 days worth of crisis prevention and intervention training. And some of the things that they told us that we had to keep an eye on were the kinds of stressors that would tend to be the things that would escalate people into maladaptive behaviors, or otherwise known as seizures and psychiatric episodes and things like that. But they told us to watch out for transition times, and that can be like a parent or a roommate dies or moves, or it could just be that it's time to go to work. And also holidays, parties, and any number of things, I suppose. But I was working at this day program where we taught job skills to mentally retarded adults, and I was in an overpopulated room where we were licensed for 10 people in my room, and I think I had like 13 with all kinds of really interesting kinds of things that I had to keep managed as we did some little like light industrial packaging activities, like put a number of bolts in a bag or something like that. But anyway, there was another program area down the way, and I would frequently be called on to help manage people who were having a hard day. And sometimes the hard day would be the kind of thing where, like this one fellow named Joe who was having a very hard day. We were getting ready for a Christmas party, or I suppose it was more Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa party, and we had been decorating all week, and the whole band knew that there was going to be a DJ with the oldies DJ that always came, and there would be cake and ice cream and lights and decorations and funny hats and stuff, and. But Joe was one of the people who had a good family life. He knew his mom was coming to bring him home for the holiday. And he was just getting a little too wound up. He decided that, stuffing bolts in a bag wasn't nearly as fun as going down the way to his neighbors at the next workstation. And there was this woman who he worked with for years and years who he just kind of stared at her and kind of came over to her and just started pounding on this girl. It was kind of run of the mill. It sounds awful, but and anyway, Joe's regular program staff was out of the room, and there was the replacement staff, Inga, who had these beautiful blue eyes and a body that only Eastern Europe and the nutritional diversity of the former Soviet bloc could provide. And so anyway, I'm in my overpopulated room, and I get this phone call from Inga, who with the passion of a sultry Vulcan told me, Patrick, Joe was having some trouble. Please come and talk to him. So I started the half-mile walk down the hall to Joe's area. About halfway down, I hear this person he'd been hitting just yelling, and she would yell. She wouldn't get out of her way. She wouldn't defend herself. She wouldn't try to go to the other side of the room from where the guy was hitting her. But she just took it. And I got over there and said, Joe, what's going on? And Joe he walked away. He sat down at his workstation. And he twisted up his fingers and he looked at it like this. That's called perseveration. It's like a little cutoff where, like, sometimes you can rock. And, like, when something's intense and you don't want to deal with it, it's like there's a psychological checking out. And Joe, I couldn't reach him. I was like, Joe, what's going on? Tell me what's going on, buddy. And I wasn't good enough. Some other people heard the yelling and came to the room to help. And Joe's regular program staff came back to the area, and was like, Joe, tell me what's going on. You were working so nice when I left, you know. We've got the party coming up, you know. Do you want to be able to go to the party? It's going to be a good time, you know. Your mom's going to be coming too. And so anyway, Joe starts crying. He's having a hard time telling his program staff what's going on. And finally, he's like, Joe, I need to know what's happening here. Joe says, I can't tell you. Joe, I need to know what's going on. You don't know what I want. Joe, please tell me what you want. I want some pussy! Some people have been known to want that sort of thing for the holidays. But all of us highly trained mental health professionals hit the floor laughing, and Joe's mother came in, took him home for the holidays, and had a lovely time, I suppose. But we remember Joe at Christmas, and that's the end of the story.